On my website, if you go there, you'll see that there is a video I posted a while back, and forgive me, the website's a mess, but it is what it is. I posted a video a while back because I have advertising for a video series I did called the Ultimate Scandi Cast. Some guys were asking me about it, and I told them I'd just make a private one. So I made a private one and posted it on my website, which I haven't been pushing the website. It's in rough condition. Nobody really goes there, but I threw it up there. So if you want to see the first part of this, you can go to the website and see it. But this is the second part of it, and we're talking about the underhand cast and some things. So let's separate the way I do it from the way maybe it's been taught and supposed to be taught by Gordon Anderson and a super cool guy, Klaus Freemore. So anyway, this is my take on it. You can see the first part of it. So here we go. The one thing I wanted to say, for me, it's easy. It works best if I do it, if I want to stay true to the style, I'll call it. A light Scandi shooting head, such as the Airflow Compact Scandi, which they don't make anymore. That's a real good one. And Beulah makes some kind of cool ones. Anyway, that and a 15-foot mono leader, tapered or level ish, maybe give or take, depending on your fishing circumstances. That's the easiest for the style if you want to be a strict underhand guy. So anyway, here's the basics is starting with the rod on your body, on your hip. Elbow stays right here. We point our toes toward the target. So we're fishing. We're gonna lift. We're gonna rotate, and as that fly is about to leave the water, and we get about to the target's that way. We're gonna lift, rotate, and right there, we circle the pot with our bottom hand, push out and around, and maybe drift up a little bit and cast. Here's the thing. So to start out until you get really good at it, I would suggest just short Scandi shooting head, long mono leader, small fly. Here's the important things I wanted to get at for the second part is after you've stirred the pot, see, if you just stick to this, elbow stays right here, hand goes around, and you end up here. I don't know why I go like this, okay? So we've stirred the pot. We're in this position. This arm is out. Rod tip is at 2 o'clock. So if this is 2 o'clock, that's 10 o'clock. That is our casting arc. And here's the problem you get into. If you don't watch yourself and study and pay attention to what's going on, and this is the only time that really pantomime casting has helped me, because it's if there's no load on the rod, it doesn't do much good. But what it will help you do, what it helped me, was to understand that when I cast, and my right foot is forward here, when I cast, that the rod tip is here, not here. And that's going to be your biggest struggle if you don't really watch yourself, is you'll have your back cast start here at 1 o'clock. And then if you try to do a high rod stop, you're probably going to get a loop, kind of a tailing loop or a collision loop, or maybe a loop that goes underneath itself, you know. So pay strict attention to when you cast, you're at 2 o'clock. Your left arm's extended, your right hand is in front of your body. You don't want to get that elbow back here. You have to keep this elbow up here. And it forces you to use your bottom hand, get in this position at 2 o'clock, and then when you go from 2 to 10, or from 10 to 2, you've got a casting angle that is 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. See, that's the angle that you have, that I like to have. I don't know if you have to have it, but I like to have this casting angle from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And if you don't have that kind of angle or more, your high rod stop is going to be make too tight of an angle. If you start here, see, if you start here and you just have most guys will cast like this, and you can cast like this and have a good cast. But if you want to do a underhand cast, you want to not be like this and then do a right arm cast with the rod tip down for underhand. This is no other style. This is just tips for if you're bound and determined to cast the underhand style, like Klaus Freemore et al. Cast. You have to start it back here. You don't have to do anything. I prefer to start, and I've trained myself to start it back here at 2:30. You can, if you get a flat, if you're way back like this, you can stop that rod at 10 o'clock and get a uniform, nice loop. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna lift, rotate, stir the pot, and get it back like this, okay? Out here. And bottom hand goes from here to here. Top hand goes from here to from here to 2 o'clock, okay? Here, high rod stop. And that way, if you want to do an air mend or a reach mend, you don't have to reach, you just go like this. See, back like this, 2:30, whatever, and then high rod stop, and then you could just go like that to mend. So, just really make sure that you're not going from 1 to 10. You're going from minimum of 2 to 10 and not 1 to 2:30 or 3. You know, you can cast from 12:30 or 1 to 3:30. And your rod tip might hit the water, but whatever you do, you have to get that casting angle from here to here. So I like to do it from here to here, and that is the crux of my version of underhand casting. So be ultra aware of that, and remember, for underhand, we are just anchoring the mono leader and the fly. The fly line itself really should not anchor on the water for strict underhand casting, unless you're, like, say you only want to use a 7-foot leader or whatever, okay? Just a standard tapered leader. You can do that, and then you probably have to anchor a little bit of the fly line. It's really not that critical, but and the way I fish, when I'm fishing, I generally, I don't do a rod length and a half of leader, because I get out of the pontoon a lot or park a lot and walk, and I don't want to deal with all the, all that long leader. Maybe you guys have suggestions of how to deal with 20 feet of mono leader, but I just do not like doing that. A rod length, maybe, or less, but you can do more. It's just messing around with the leader that is a pain to me. So that's why I always use a sink tip, because I only have to deal with 3 or 4 feet of mono, which is silly, but that's just me. So anyway, remember, we're only anchoring our mono leader. Mono leader's gonna slip a little bit on the water, so there's that to consider. But that is the idea behind Scandi casting. Anchor the leader, start here. The top hand has to be involved. You cannot do a completely, see, you can't just do underhand. The top hand has to be involved. Okay, I'm gonna be from here, and then when I use my top hand, my wrist is cocked, and then I'll stop it at, see, there's a little top hand, and that's really, if you just do, this is just me thinking out loud, but if you use your top hand a little, like that, then you bend your rod more. If you don't use your top hand at all, really, or if you use it like too much, like this, pretty soon, this isn't the fulcrum. I want the rod to bend around here. This isn't the fulcrum if you go like that. If you go like this with a short line, the fulcrum seems to be more down here. This is me thinking out loud, you know. If I'm wrong, just let me know. So if you give a little power though, not power, but you have to have resistance, and the top hand has to move forward just enough to give that bottom hand something to pry against, so you're bending the rod. And that's how I get my power. But if you do too much top hand, see, this becomes the fulcrum, and I want this to be the fulcrum, if that makes any sense. And it doesn't have to, because I don't even, I'm not a scientist. So anyway, that is the ultimate Scandi part. The ultimate Scandi part, that is the ultimate Scandi cast part 2. Thanks for watching.